Welcome, everybody. This is Gregg with DBiz Institute. And as part of this Need to Know video series, I'm thrilled to have George Barlow with us, the CEO of Strategia. George, a lot of folks will remember from the BPM community. George in the past has been both a presenter at our conferences. He has been an instructor for some of our training courses. He helped us to shepherd through our certification program and knows as much about this space as anybody I know. And so we're thrilled to have George with us. He's also going to be delivering 2 brand new courses in our digital transformation program at the end of April. And, George, I've told folks, that you really have your finger on the pulse of what's happening in this space. You've been a BPM guru for a long time, and you've also expanded the areas that you work in to include decision management, case management, and automation technologies. I was hoping that you could connect the dots for our members, the average BPM practitioner, to understand, what's coming down the pike and what they can do to try to get up to speed with this current state of the art.
Sure. Well, greetings from California. I know we're coasts apart, but it's fun to be here today. Thank you. So let's talk a little bit about probably what people are less familiar with. So like BPMN, there's some additional modeling standards from OMG that can also allow you to create automated applications based on a standard. First one is decision management, or DMN as it's referred to. And it's a modeling standard that incorporates the old ideas of decision tables and so forth, but lots of advanced and new tools and ideas like relation tables and reusable business knowledge modules and the documentation of knowledge sources and so forth. And these can be used as decision as a service components in composable applications. So what we're seeing is that DMN is not only connecting to the rules task, essentially, in decision tasks in BPMN, but it's also replacing proprietary, non-standard, standards being important, business rules management systems in many organizations. So DMN is one. I think James Taylor has a course with the Institute that talks a lot about that. He's one of the world's great experts on it, so we're lucky to have him. Second of all is Cmmn, which is case management in modeling notation. So it's about case management. And case management is a standard that allows the modeling of different kinds of activities that might be performed in an unpredictable order. And humans sort of need to evolve the path of the process, if you will, and react to situations, which are officially called events. So events happen and they change the way things get done. Now, generally in the early days, we attempted to fix that problem of case management in BPM by having incredibly complicated BPMN diagrams with every possible thing that could go right and everything that could go wrong. But really, that's not the job for BPMN. BPMN's job is to have a path through from start to end that's pretty clear cut and able to be understood and works the same way every time. Case management allows us to not have things work the same way every time. You can embed processes inside a case, for example, but by and large, it's a really interesting new area. It's been around for a while, but the adoption is picking up fairly rapidly, and automation is occurring now with case management as well. Now, a great addition to the standards family, if you will, is something called friendly enough expression language, normally referred to as FEEL. Now, it was originally built into the OMG specification in DMN, and it sort of extends computational and logical operations and so forth past just simple decision tables. And interestingly enough, Trisotech, for example, is now including it into BPMN for use in data mapping, gateway logic, a whole bunch of areas. It's some pretty wonderful synergy for standards there. So it's fun to watch that happen. And then finally, I think that what we need to say is that modeling languages at the enterprise modeling languages, model-driven programs, if you will, have enterprise-level capabilities, yet they can be modeled and automated completely or nearly completely by SMEs and power users, the so-called citizen developers. So by seeing this change, if you will, in how the standards are built to work together and how vendors are now beginning to make them work together and automatable from models, for visual models, is really exciting.
It's great stuff, George. And so I would recommend to our members, if you want to learn more about these topics, we're certainly going to be spending a lot of time on them in the new courses that George is be presenting for us in April. Also, just to mention that if folks are looking to do a deep dive into decision management, we do have a decision management certificate program, and that's led by James Taylor, who I just recently had an engagement with James and a large bank in Europe, and helping them to get back on track with their DMN and BPMN efforts. And so that's all part of our digital transformation curriculum. So I hope folks can join us. And George, thank you so much for coming down. Great to see you.
Thank you. I enjoyed it, Greg.
Bye now.